All right, so check this out. It seems like Donald Trump and Elon Musk's relationship is actually on thin ice. They pretend to be buddy buddy in public, they pretend that they're best friends, but in privately and even publicly recently, they've been criticizing one another. Take a look at this scathing Wall Street Journal article that we just got recently. It reads, "Inside Trump and Musk's complicated relationship. The president and his aides have sometimes expressed frustration with Musk, but his advisors say the two remain close," which is almost contradicted by this article. But just take a look at this. Quote, "Donald Trump recently posed an evocative question to his advisors about billionaire Elon Musk's promise to slash $1 trillion in government spending, saying, quote, 'Was it all bullshit?' Trump asked, according to administration officials, wondering whether Musk could have ever come close to the cuts he promised to carry out through the Department of Government Efficiency. Now, remember, when Donald Trump and Elon Musk first started talking about Doge during the campaign, they started at $2 trillion in cuts. Then they dropped it down to $1 trillion. And then they dropped it down to around $100 billion. And so it's pretty clear to all of us that Elon Musk was lying about the amount of savings he was expecting. And now even Donald Trump is asking that question. The MAGA lunatic that he is, it's so oblivious that even he is catching on. The next paragraph says the episode captured the flashes of skepticism and frustration from Trump and his senior aides over Musk's rocky 4-month tenure in the government, with spats spilling out in the Middle East, cabinet meetings, and occasionally in the Oval Office, according to people familiar with the matter, and they reflected the broader exasperation over roadblocks that have slowed Musk's efforts, from court challenges to bureaucratic delays. And here's another interesting quote that Trump allegedly said about Elon Musk. Trump has described Musk to aides as 50% genius, 50% boy, according to White House staffers who heard his comments. Another White House aide said that they heard Trump call Musk 90% genius and 10% boy. The two would have long, discursive conversations over dinners at Trump's club, but Musk was sometimes confused Trump with his eccentric humor, White House officials said. And of course, Musk didn't respond to requests for comment, and neither did many others quoted in the story. But, in my view, if somebody you're friends with, apparently best buddies with, you wouldn't be calling them 50% genius or 50% boy and questioning whether their whole selling point to you was bullshit. That just seems like a fractured relationship to me. And the article goes on to say that Trump's advisors, separate from Donald Trump, described a whirlwind ride with the world's richest man, who occasionally slept at the White House, which I think that's a new detail as well, regularly sent late night messages, and often surprised senior administration officials with his decisions and his public and private comments. Musk clashed with senior White House officials as he made dramatic government cuts without consulting others. So essentially, Elon Musk would just be acting in a rogue manner, and he didn't consult people, even including White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles and other senior officials in the communications office. And then for several weeks, top Trump aides regularly learned from news reports or cabinet secretaries what Elon Musk and Doge was doing, even when the cost-cutting department laid off hundreds of people or sought sensitive data from agencies, according to aides. He also clashed with personnel aides over vetting of some of his staff, some of the people said, believing the White House shouldn't control his Doge team. And then tensions with Trump's staff escalated to the point that Trump got involved and asked Wiles to play a more hands-on role managing Musk. Once again, they claim that they're best friends, but separately, Donald Trump is asking his chief of staff to play a hands-on role in managing Elon Musk. That seems like a pretty fractured relationship to me. And here's where Donald Trump gets involved again. Trump and his advisors were frustrated when Musk attacked Senator Todd Young as a deep state puppet in February in a social media post. Trump advisors had worked for days to get Young to vote for Tulsi Gabbard as his nominee to be the director of national intelligence, and believed he was going to vote yes. And then JD Vance made a call to Elon Musk, got him to tame down his rhetoric. But once again, what this article is proving to me is that the facade that Elon Musk and Donald Trump put on, that they're best friends, that they love each other, is just that, a facade. And I think that this has also been emphasized in recent days because Elon Musk has publicly criticized Donald Trump as well. He criticized the big, beautiful bill that Donald Trump is currently working on, saying, quote, "I think a bill can be big or it can be beautiful, but I don't know if it can be both." He also said that the legislation, quote, "increases the budget deficit and undermines the work that the Doge team is doing." Those are some pretty direct criticisms from Elon Musk. And we know that Donald Trump has not always been a fan of Musk. Back in January, before Donald Trump took office, he was reportedly complaining about Elon in private and hated the President Musk jokes. Apparently, Elon was very much getting on his nerves, and all the jokes that were being made about Elon Musk actually running the country really got under his skin. And honestly, all of this criticism, all of the fracture in the relationship doesn't surprise me. When you put two narcissistic, egotistical billionaires in a room together and you expect them to work together, that to me seems like a recipe for disaster, and it seems like it's going to explode. And I think that this fracture between Elon Musk and Donald Trump is happening right before our very eyes. But then again, I also think it's important to note that both Donald Trump and Elon Musk maintain this relationship, in my view, because they understand that it's transactional. Donald Trump needs Elon Musk's money to fund his political operation because a lot of other people weren't donating to him. And Elon Musk needs Donald Trump to give him government subsidies, tax breaks, government contracts to keep his companies alive and enrich himself. They need each other. And that's why they almost run cover for each other. So Elon Musk will consistently defend Donald Trump. Donald Trump will consistently defend Elon Musk. And that's exactly what has happened in the recent days with this new scathing New York Times report that talks about Elon Musk's extensive drug use. Donald Trump has actually commented on this article in a new press conference he did. This article was devastating for Elon Musk. They write, quote, "Mr. Musk's drug consumption went well beyond occasional use. He told people he was taking so much ketamine, a powerful anesthetic, that it was affecting his bladder, a known effect of chronic use. He took ecstasy and psychedelic mushrooms, and he traveled with a daily medication box that held about 20 pills, including ones with the markings of the stimulant Adderall." So this report is scathing. They have a lot of evidence to back up their reporting. And so, of course, Donald Trump got involved in the mix. He was asked about the report of Elon Musk, and just take a look at what he said. He doesn't seem very concerned about it whatsoever.
I like this man.
Were you aware of Elon Musk's regular drug use?
No, I wasn't. I think he's fantastic. I think Elon is a fantastic guy. And
Are you troubled by these reports?
I'm not troubled by anything with Elon. I think he's fantastic. Did a great job. And you know, Doge continues, and by the time it's finished, we'll have numbers that'll knock your socks off. It's going to be, he did a fantastic job. And he didn't need it. He didn't need to do it.
So, consistently evading the question as Donald Trump does so often. But when he's just asked, are you concerned? He says, no, I think he's fantastic. He's not troubled by anything with Elon. And I said this on other social media platforms, but I think the hypocrisy here is astounding, which is for years, Republicans screamed about private citizen Hunter Biden and his struggles with addiction when he got wrapped up with the wrong people, as so many millions of Americans do. But when it comes to Elon Musk, Donald Trump says, I'm not troubled. I think he's a fantastic guy. Things of that nature. So it's just weird how their relationship is very clearly fractured. They're criticizing each other in public. They're criticizing each other in private. But again, I think they understand that they need one another on a transactional basis to make sure that their operations can continue to run and make money and things of that nature. So I don't know. You tell me what you think in the comments, but I'll leave the video there. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe down below. Drop a like on the video. As I said, leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts. And as I always say, I greatly appreciate you, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.